Good morning, everybody. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Wendy Yee.
I'm Chris Yee.
Welcome to Board Game Breakfast, normally on Mondays, but at this rate, we've done it on many Tuesdays.
That we have.
Oh, it's not Monday.
And do it on many more Tuesdays. For example...
Yeah. We'll do it next Tuesday.
No. Next week
and
is
the
on Monday.
Tuesday after that.
But then it is on that Tuesday.
Okay, well, I'm right half the time.
Monday.
All right. So anyhow, hey, we're back. We're going to start off with a contest here. This is for Lizard Wizard. Now, you can see here on the wall behind me, we have Raccoon Tycoon. Lizard Wizard is a sequel to Raccoon Tycoon. They use many of the same mechanisms. In fact, it's like a 1.5 version of it, where you're a a wizard. It's a magician.
Lizard magician.
Wizard, magician, lizard, raccoon. They're all
I think there's a difference, right? There's illusionist, magician, wizard.
Warlock.
Warlock, yeah.
Druid.
Druid, yeah.
No, you're...
A druid is an animal wizard, right?
It's so ridiculous that you just said the word druid there. Okay, but anyhow, you're making me nerd rage.
I'm a druid in D&D, okay?
Anywho, you can win a copy of this. All you have to do to win a copy of Lizard Wizard is to email us at contest@dicetower.com. In the subject line, put the word steg. I don't know what's steg. Is it short for Stegosaurus?
Mike. Stegolomania.
No, I'm going to look it up. Maybe there's a reason for steg. Although I will say this morning I looked up an acronym and I was like, oh, and I felt bad for having looked up that acronym. Steg is the fusion of Steven and Greg universe. Structural transformation and economic growth.
Yeah, Lizard Wizard.
Yep.
Or it's a joint or a roast, a cut of meat.
Lizard Wizard.
I like this cut of meat idea.
All right, well, whatever. You're just going to put steg in there. All right, so that's one thing. Two, hey, we're back.
Hey.
Have you been missing reviews? They're coming back. We got lots of stuff coming this week. It's going to be a somewhat normal week, except we're starting kind of today rather than the rest. We have Gen Con 1 week away. If you want to come to our Gen Con show, there are still tickets left. Not a ton, but there are some. That's on Friday at 2 o'clock of next week. Go to Gen Con events and pick them up. Also, come by our booth. I will tell you what our booth number is, but I wasn't prepared to say this sort of thing. But our booth is...
We're going to have to vamp
2741. How can people remember that?
2741.
41's a prime number, but that doesn't help.
27 is not a prime number.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
1 and 2 adds up to 7.
That's true, but that's not an... yeah, it's 1,
2.
But then people will be like, oh, you're at 1247.
Just remember, 2 minus 7 plus 41
Stop.
is 36.
Well, maybe someone
Well,
in the comments...
42 is the answer to all question, right? Or
Maybe
like
someone in the comments will have a way for us to remember 2741.
Our
But
booth is almost the answer to the question.
41.
no, I don't like that. That 42, that's so overused. So overused. I could slap Douglas Adams for that.
When was the last time that I used 42?
Maybe not you, but every single event we do, 42 shows up. It's very annoying. All right, anyhow, it sounds like a made-up booth number.
So
Thanks.
I'm happy with 42.
All right, well, let's jump to some contributors, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Taryn.
And Stella here from Maple University. Now, last time we talked about games, or a game that took us by surprise. Funnily enough, this is by the same company. They've been doing pretty well these days. This is also a retail release.
Indeed.
The Guild of Matron Explorers.
Yes, it's certainly a dull-looking game from the outside, and it's a very very business-like name, but it's a good, fun little game. Most easily, I think, compared with My City. It's sort of My City Plus.
Ooh. So it is like Flip and Write, but instead of write or draw, you put cubes on your own map. So if you like map, this one, and it doesn't actually plays as complex or as long as it's not as complex as it looks. The first time I saw this, it looks more complex than it is, but really it's not.
Yeah, it does look like, because it's got all this sort of pastel hex grid here, so it looks like a
War game.
It immediately
almost.
makes you think of a hex encounter war game. But
Yeah.
no, it's a nice little. Cards will come up. It will tell you where you can go and explore, and you've got 4 rounds to try to spread out. You want to try to fill in areas to put villages down, and then when all your cubes come off the board between round, it gives you a starting point to spread out to all the valuable stuff which is on the edges of the board.
Indeed, and it is one of those that it's like, wow, there's is really smart. The way the mechanic is, and there's also these cards that will give you power, and then you get to use asymmetric power for each player. Really different. Stands out.
Yeah, as I say, I think it is a. It takes what My City did with the common action type of thing, but makes it more complex for the heavier gamer.
Indeed. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Hey everybody, Ryan here, back with another affordable board game. Today I'm going to talk about Long Shot the Dice Game. Long Shot the Dice Game is designed by Chris Handy, published by Perplexed Games, plays 1 to 8 players, ages 14 and up, with an average 25-minute playtime, and has a $30 MSRP. Earn the most money in this push your luck and rolling right by placing bets, buying thoroughbred horses, and scoring concession combos. In a typical turn, you'll roll dice to determine which horse moves. There are 8 horses in the game. The die will tell you which horse to move and how many spaces, 1 to 3 spaces. Then on the bottom of that horse's card, you move each horse who is marked on the card 1 space. Then players will do 1 action, including betting on that horse, buying that horse if you have the money, doing a concession action, which can earn you bonuses during the game, and so on and so forth. Once 3 horses cross the finish line, you finish the round and then the game. The horses that pay out on their bets are the ones that pass the no bet line, and of course, the horses in the winner's circle. In the end game scoring, you get a bonus for horses being in the winner's circle, depending on which place they finish in. You cash your bets based on what place they finished in, and you add up the total, and one with the most money wins. Why do I like this game? I like rolling dice and racing, and this game has both. It's really exciting when your horse is far behind, but then you roll a 3, then roll another 3, and then get a follow move, and all of a sudden, you're in striking distance. This actually happened in a recent play. Your choice of bets matter, of course, and horse purchases matter too, because each horse has a special power that you can use if you own it. This game, while light, has more going on than I gave credit for. I predict that this game will be a good filler-type game for my game circle in the future. And that was Long Shot the Dice Game. I hope you folks enjoy, and until next time, see you later.
Electrical generation or solar thermoelectricity generation or Sindicato Trabajadores de la Educación de Guatemala.
What's he talking about?
Steg.
Steg is the last name of the artist of the game, as someone pointed out, although her Annie Steg's name has 2 G's in it. We'll take 1 G or 2 G for answers. Okay, Hellas. Now, there was a Hellas that came out in 2016, but we're talking about the one that came out in 2002. I've given this one a 6 because it looks, and you guys can see here, it looks like a war game. You know what it's not? A war game. The designer is actually Franz Benno de Long, who he did, my favorite game from him is the racing down the river and betting on them.
Steamboat.
No, you don't bet on them in Steamboat.
Rolling.
Now I'm looking it up here. Manila. His most famous game is Container. Well, actually, his most critically acclaimed game is Container. His most famous game is a game called Transamerica, which was, before Ticket to Ride, the gateway game out there.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Hellas is in the 2-player Cosmos line. You're fighting, I mean, again, you are fighting in a sense, but it's very abstracted out. It looks pretty boring, although there are cool little miniatures there. It's really, really forgettable. I gave it a 6 back in 2002, which means today I'd probably give it lower than that.
Yeah.
Although sometimes I swing upwards on these things, but not often. And there's different cards that you play, and then you move these guys around, and it's back and forth, and I don't even know why we're talking about it, because I just talked about my extent of it.
I'm just trying to figure out why Hela doesn't have the cool little hat horn thing that she normally has on the cover.
And summon daggers and kill all of Thor's friends that we don't remember the names of.
You are mixing mythologies. This is so wrong today. 42. Whatever.
Look, that's Norse. That's Norse right there, right?
It's
with
not.
the centurion helmet.
All right. Well, that's it for 20 years ago. We'll be back. I have not much to say myself. Let's move on.
Hey everyone, how you doing? I'm Clara and I'm back talking about board games, digital versus physical, and today is my favourite 2-player role-playing game, and that's Dragonheart, part of the Cosmos 2-player series, which Chris was talking about just recently. I saw a copy of this at the UKGE and I snapped it up because this is one of my favourite games on Board Game Arena. In fact, it's one of my favourite games full stop now. It's a really simple game. There's not much to it. There's two decks of cards that are identical for you and your opponent, and each of those cards are worth points, and there's also different things on them. So maybe it's an archer, maybe it's a boat, maybe it's a dragon. And you're playing to a central player board, so they go in certain locations. The miners go to the bottom left and the archers go to the bottom right. And you keep playing them, but sometimes certain things will be triggered. Treasure chests that have been played out, and then someone plays a dragon. Well, the dragon cards take the treasure chest. If you played the third archer, then they take the dragons. If you play a mystic, you activate the Dragonheart, get those cards, and get a miniature, which is the same as in the Blue Moon City Cosmos game, one of my favorite games as well, as it happens, and you get to draw up to 6 cards. It's a really quick, simple game, and so it takes 2 seconds to take up, put out and take it down. You can pretty much take it with you, although the player board is a little bit bulkier. It's a really good implementation on Board Game Arena, and I really enjoy playing it, but I was so happy to get hold of a copy for my collection because I do enjoy it that much, and I'm glad to say that the experience has translated and doesn't take any more time. It's 5 or 10 minutes game. And sure, there's a bit of luck, depending on when things come out, but that's 2-player games like Jaipur and this, that's the way it is. But because it's only 5 minutes or so, well, it doesn't matter. You just, restart and play again. So that's my recommendation, Dragonheart. Until next time, take care and bye-bye.
This is a segment where we take a look at a board game based on an IP, and I tell you if the IP and the mechanisms match. Today we're looking at Mickey Mouse's Food Fight game by OP Games. So everybody's going to get their own little tray with a bunch of these, and the number of this that will be on it will be based on the players. Then you have a serving tray in the middle. So real time, simultaneously, everybody's going to roll the dice as fast as you can, and it'll show you where you're able to send this to. So in this case, I would send 1 French fry to the serving tray, then pick the dice up again, and I would roll. And this could be 1 hot dog, which I don't have, so I can just re-roll again. A French fry to my left, so it would go over here. And if you're able to get everything cleared off of this, then you will gain 1 of the medals. First person to 3 medals is the winner. That's all you do, is you roll this as quickly, as fast as you can, as many times as you can, to try to get rid of these things. And if you do, you get a medal, 3 medals, you're the winner. That's it. That's all there is to it. I mean, I guess if you're Mickey Mouse, Goofy, and Donald Duck and you're having a food fight, I guess this is a way to throw food around. You're rolling the dice and you're picking up what it says and you're just chucking at other people in a frantic, real-time, simultaneous play type game. And I guess that works. I don't understand why we have to be Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, and Minnie Mouse, and so forth. But the frantic nature of a food fight and picking up, you have to pick up certain foods. I guess that's a little weird. If I was in a food fight, just pick up whatever's closest. But, the dice are telling you how to do because there has to be a game attached to it. So I guess it does feel like a massive food fight that's going on. When me and my kids play, we're just kind of throwing these things around. It does feel like a food fight. I think it nails it on that. That's not a comment on whether it's a good game or not. We actually kind of like the frantic pace of it. It moves really quickly. But as for the IP and the mechanisms, yeah, I don't understand the IP. I guess I'm Mickey Mouse, I'm throwing it, but the food fight segment of it, dead on. This is what a food fight, which I haven't had since probably the 4th grade in elementary school. It does feel like this frantic nature of what I'm doing, rolling the dice and trying to get them out, and roll the dice again, and over again. Yeah, they kind of nailed a food fight, that's for sure.
Hey everybody, we're back, but we might be back briefly. We got a thunderstorm and equipment malfunctions that could possibly happen. We're prepared to switch out, but it could happen at any point in time. Oh, really? Yeah, we're definitely going to go offline for a second. So we're trying to get that fixed. Also, the Dice Tower is going to do some things this week, including finishing Board Game Breakfast.
We hope. We plan. We aspire to finish breakfast.
Yeah, one of our things is completely crashing on us here. So, but Roy and Mike are both trying to fix it, but we should have it soon.
They're the heroes of breakfast.
Well, we can do at least us talking for the rest of breakfast.
That's fair. That's fair.
Anywho, while we're waiting to crash here, what's happening this week from the Dice Tower?
Good stuff, I hope.
We can't even see the chat anymore, so we don't even know if y'all are watching.
I'm trying to check it.
Everything's fine. Where's my schedule? Okay, so what's coming from the Dice Tower this week? So today I'm reviewing My Father's Work. I know a lot of people are interested in that one, a big giant game. We have Z's doing What's Happening. He's using different equipment, so that won't be affected at 10 o'clock.
As long as the thunderstorm affects the internet.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the thunderstorm. Kites, Titan, Village Rails, Port Royal Big Box, Queen Gambit, the board game.
I know people have been waiting for that.
Huh, that's a different rating than I thought you were going to give it.
It's different than I would have expected.
I was surprised too.
Okay, on Thursday, we're doing a big giant Gen Con preview. So we're just going to go through all the games coming out. Wendy and Chris are also previewing Gen Con stuff. Dice Tower East, most checked out games. Me and Chris, we have a stack of paper somewhere around here. We're going to talk about the games that were checked out the most and checked out the least.
Wait, you and Chris are talking about statistics together?
Yeah, no.
Unheard of.
It's my favorite thing.
Nerds.
Rear Window, Cryptid Cafe. I'm doing another Kickstarter look back. I'm talking about 4 games I won't play again. Cat in a Box, a great trick-taking game that I'm not spoiling my thoughts on.
Sure
And
not.
the newest expansion for Cosmic Encounter. So lots of things coming your way. Are we still streaming?
We are still streaming as of right now.
Do you want me to take it over?
We ready to do the switch? We're gonna do one of those switches. This is essentially when 2 people are driving down the road, and one person jumps in and starts driving. That's what we're about to do. These things always work well.
This is an action flick.
Well, yeah,
Live
if you're
here
Vin
on
Diesel,
camera.
isn't it true that I'm trying to figure out if The Rock is contractually obligated to never lose a fight in a movie? Because that's the rumor.
Contractually, like his side says that he can't ever lose.
He cannot lose a fight in a movie.
Interesting. I
Which
thought
I-
you could put that in a contract.
Get ready for the switch.
All right, the switch is about to
I
happen.
think that's a
Oh
story
gosh.
writing
Oh
thing.
gosh. Oh.
Okay, ready, Chris?
Oh.
Get ready to stand up.
All right.
I'm gonna put
Oh.
a countdown for a
I
second.
knocked something over.
That's good. This is on countdown now.
That's fine.
Making bacon.
I hear there's a countdown.
Let's just unplug this as the main thing. Okay.
Like, grab the computer out of here.
All right, we're jumping, folks. We're jumping. Vin Diesel has been grabbing by the arm while he's doing 90 miles an hour one direction.
Thank you.
We're gonna
Doing
pick up-
70 miles an hour the other
We're gonna
direction.
pick up the car with a crane and we're gonna swing it over an edge.
Okay.
It won't fall off.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's showing we're still.
Oh, you can make a really quick turn.
I'm
Should I
also
make
not
a break?
I'm also not going to dislocate my shoulder.
I don't click anything. Just
Okay.
close it in here.
Miraculously.
Make a really quick turn.
I'm also
Make a
not
crane
going
to turn.
I'm also not going to dislocate my
I
shoulder.
don't click anything. Just close the computer.
Miraculously.
You guys see anything on there?
Then we'll
Yeah, we see Mike. Now we
dump it
see
in the
Roy.
water and use a bajillion